These new Pokemon leaks have officially ruined Typhlosion for me. For those who haven't kept up, we're talking about the leaks that were revealed from original Pokemon stories. We already went over the Slaykoth story, now let's talk about the Typhlosion story. And from a personal perspective, Typhlosion was one of my favorite Pokemon, so this one kinda cut deep for me. So the story starts off with a girl in some village going out to gather firewood. Now on this venture to get firewood, she finds a forest, so she goes deep into it. Before she realizes it, the sun was setting and she had lost her way. Around her, there were droppings of Typhlosions, which actually made her anxious. Just then though, a man appeared from the side of the forest. His face didn't resemble anyone from the village, but he was very handsome. Now the man said, "You must be lost, right? I know the way down the mountain, but with your pace, it would be midnight before we get there. I'll take you back tomorrow morning, so why don't you rest at my place tonight?" Now from there, it seems innocent enough, right? Just some guy who wants to help a lost girl. But it turns out he doesn't take her to some house, he takes her to a cave, and he says, "This is actually my home. You must be hungry though, so wait here." Saying that, the man went outside the cave. After he left, a red light had actually shined from far away in the mountains, and there was a sound of trees swaying. Before long, the man returned carrying many red berries. He said, "Eat this, then let's sleep for the night. Even if you wake up before I do though, don't look at my face." Now the girl agrees to the promise. Whenever she sleeps, she wakes up before him and then doesn't actually look at his face because she promised not to. Now because she wanted to wait for the man, she just turns back over and falls back asleep. However, when she wakes up again, it turns out the sun was already setting. She had basically slept through the entire day, so the man wakes up and says, "Today we'll eat green berries, so wait here," and he repeats the same thing. He goes away from the cave, and again, she sees a red light, and he comes back with berries. Now this goes on for some undetermined amount of time, but clearly for a long time, because she then says that she's concerned her family will be worried about her and she wants to go home. However, the man yawns widely and taps her on the head, and the moment that he taps her on the head, she suddenly forgets about her family. So then the two of them eat more green berries together and then fall asleep, and this routine is constantly repeated, again for an undetermined amount of time. Now, eventually, this girl realizes that this man is actually a Typhlosion. Why she wasn't able to tell earlier, I have no idea. Maybe that's part of the Typhlosion's powers. Now, as winter approached, the Typhlosion dug deeper into the cave and said to the girl, "Go and gather wood for firewood. Break off the branches from the higher parts of the tall trees." However, the girl was too afraid to climb that high, so she broke off the branches from the smaller trees. Unfortunately, Typhlosion said, "This won't do. If it's not from the higher branches, the humans will find us." Now, when the snow began to fall, the two of them lived in the depths of the cave, mostly sleeping. There was plenty of food. Occasionally, they would wake up, eat berries like they usually do, and then go back to sleep. However, one day she woke up and the girl was holding a child. Yeah, just big step right there, suddenly having a child, no explanation, but apparently when they were sleeping together, it was more than just cuddling and going to bed. They were sleeping together. And then after some more time passes, the Typhlosion says, "Your father is looking for you, but you are my wife, so I can't return you." Instead, he says, "I will have to battle your father." And the girl pleads, says, "Don't do that. Don't unalive my father. How can I live with you if you unalive my family? You are a good person, so please stay here with me and sleep." Clearly some kind of superpower influencing her brain. I don't know what's happening. Now, if you guys remember previously, I said that she wasn't breaking off branches from the top of the trees, and Typhlosion warned her that if they keep breaking off the branches from the lower part or the smaller part of the trees, the humans would find them. And they do. The dad eventually finds them. So then the husband Typhlosion mix says, "Soon your father will come here. I'm going to do something bad to your father. If I am unalived, take my eyes, my voice, and my heart." For some reason. "Build a fire at the spot where I was unalived and burn them. And while they burn, sing this song until the fire goes out." I'm really getting some folktale lore vibes from this story. And with that final request, the Typhlosion goes and battles the father, but the father does indeed win. So the daughter says, "Father, you have unalived my husband. I have been living with him all this time. He was my husband. Please give me my husband, the Typhlosion's eyes, voice, and heart, just like he had requested." Now, she completes the Typhlosion's request, burns the eyes, the voice, the heart, and sings the song. But the end of the story is where things just get even nuttier, and I don't know how that was actually possible. What basically happens is the father builds a hut at the edge of the village for his daughter and her new baby to live, hopefully in peace. However, the other villagers aren't really standing for this, and they constantly mock and tease her. Not only that, but at one point they try to drape over a Typhlosion's pelt on top of both her and her son. She goes back to her dad and says, please tell the villagers to stop teasing us. If they put that pelt on us, we will surely become Typhlosion. We are already half Typhlosion as it is. I don't know why she is half Typhlosion. I get why her son is, but apparently she also became half Typhlosion. Now, despite the parents' pleas, the villagers did not listen, and they eventually draped over a Typhlosion pelt over them, and yes, they literally turn into Typhlosions and leave the village. That's the end of the story, and apparently because of this, that's why they came to understand that Typhlosions are actually half human beings. So yeah, they have officially been ruined for me personally. Again, I don't know what the Pokemon executives were doing. I guess this is why it's called Game Freak, but oh my god, what were they trying to cook with this? Because they burnt us a 5-course meal at this point.